The current debate over kneeling or sitting in protest during the national anthem was ignited by Colin Kaepernick in 2016 and has escalated to become a nationally divisive issue. San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick first refused to stand during the Star-Spangled Banner on August 26, 2016 to protest racial injustice and police brutality in the United States. Since that time, many other professional football players, high school athletes, and other professional athletes in other sports have refused to stand for the national anthem. These protests have generated controversy and sparked a public conversation about the protesters' messages and how they've chosen to deliver them. People who support refusing to stand for the national anthem argue that athletes are justified in using their celebrity status to bring attention to important issues and that refusing to stand for the national anthem is an appropriate and effective method of peaceful protest. People who disagree argue that football games are an inappropriate place to engage in political protest and that not standing for the national anthem shows disrespect for the country and those who proudly support it. Some with their lives. Today, on 60 Minutes, we are going to attempt to tackle the controversial issue on whether athletes should have the right to kneel when the national anthem is being played.
Oh, say, can you see?
The lyrics of the national anthem rang out in Levi Stadium for what, so we thought, was a meaningless preseason game. But what went mostly unnoticed at the time surely is anything but meaningless now.
It's to bring awareness and make people realize what's really going on in this country. There are a lot of things that are going on that are unjust, people aren't being held accountable for, and that's something that needs to change.
In the effort to stand for what he believed in, his action to sit was later lifted to taking a knee. As 5 weeks have passed, each day offering a new voice, a new form of support, another point of conflict.
You gotta respect the flag. It's bigger than just you.
The reason these guys are kneeling, the reason we're locking arms is to bring people together, to make people aware that this is not right.
Colin Kaepernick's protest to evoke attention to social injustices has spurred reaction and action unlike any we've seen in recent decades. Here we are, in the midst of a social movement where a quarterback, once known for flexing his biceps to celebrate a touchdown, now sits as a backup and kneels for what he believes in.
When there's significant change, and I feel like that flag represents what it's supposed to represent, and this country is representing people the way that it's supposed to, I'll stand.
Kaepernick's gesture and voice have resonated unlike anything we've witnessed by or from an athlete in years.
This isn't something I'm going to ask other people to put their necks out for what I'm doing. If they agree with me and feel strongly about it, then by all means, I hope they stand with me.
With Kaepernick pushing down the first domino, we've seen potentially prudent dialogue broached between players and political officials in some markets, like Seattle.
This is called unity. Now we're going to push the needle.
As players, coaches, veterans, and politicians all have their opinion and are expressing it.
Mr. Kaepernick, he's exercising his constitutional right to make a statement. I think he cares about some real, legitimate issues that have to be talked about.
We, at some point, are pushed to look at a new household name. Not one who was once a Super Bowl starter with a revolutionary style of play, but instead at a backup on a struggling team with a revolutionary cause.
Now that we got the opinion of Colin Kaepernick, us at 60 Minutes thought it would be a good idea to get the opinion of a United States citizen and what they thought about the issue. So, Chris, do you think that kneeling for the national anthem is an appropriate way to protest your beliefs?
I think that refusing to stand for the national anthem shows disrespect for the flag and members of the armed forces because they gave you the right to live and to have freedoms in the country, and kneeling for the national anthem basically just says that that doesn't matter to you, and the freedom they've given you, you just want to throw that all away.
Interesting. What else do you think about it?
I also think that not standing for the national anthem is rather ineffective and a counterproductive way to promote a cause, because we need to come together as one. So if you're kneeling and other people are standing, it shows divisiveness, and we need to take one stand because we're the United States of America. We're not the divided states of America. So I think it's pretty counter effective.
I like that. That's a really good point. Is there anything else that you think about this issue?
Yeah, there's one more thing. I think refusing to stand for the national anthem angers many and sows division in our country. So, as I was just saying, we need to come together as one, and that's the only way that we're going to beat racism and all these other issues. And I think there are better solutions that bring everyone together instead of, you feel this way about something and the other guy feels a different way about something. The national anthem is one way for us all to stand as one, and to show that, our country is one nation.
Wow, thanks so much for telling me about your beliefs, Chris.
Not a problem, Kay.
So, after hearing from one opinion of a United States citizen, we thought that it would be a good idea to hear from the opposing view of a United States citizen. So, Carter, do you think refusing to stand for the national anthem is an appropriate way to protest?
Well, Kay, I do think that it's an appropriate way to protest. I've always believed that when a person believes that the United States is not living up to its ideals of freedom, liberty, and justice for everyone, which is what Colin Kaepernick believes, that refusing to stand for the national anthem is appropriate, and it's a good idea to do so. You don't have to get into the argument of whether or not you agree with what Colin Kaepernick is standing for, but the point is, if you don't think that the United States is providing freedom, justice, liberty for all people as it's supposed to, then I think it's a good reason that people would kneel for the national anthem, and that's the stance that Colin Kaepernick has taken as well.
It's a good point. Do you have any other beliefs on it?
Yeah, I also think that it's really powerful for Colin Kaepernick, a professional football player, to do it, because when national figures such as NFL players or celebrities refuse to stand for the national anthem, it'll generate attention, and it'll shock people into paying attention to the conversation that they're trying to start. NFL is one of the most watched television events of the year. Like every week, every Sunday, everybody's watching the NFL. And Colin Kaepernick was a prominent player on a big-time team in San Francisco, and he used his voice to start a conversation that he felt like should be heard. So I think that's a very effective way of doing it.
Also a very good point. Any other arguments or any other beliefs or opinions?
Well, yeah, of course, Kay. It all circles back to the First Amendment. I mean, the United States provides the First Amendment so that we can provide peaceful and legal protest, which is something that's very important to the United States as a country and one of the fabrics of our nation. So it's our right as citizens of the country to protest and to do what we believe to get our point across, and it's a very peaceful and appropriate way. There's a lot worse ways that people could be promoting their ideas than by generating a lot of attention in a peaceful way, such as kneeling for the national anthem.
Well, thanks. I really appreciate you giving me your opinion.
Of course.
The 2017 NFL preseason began with black players from the Seattle Seahawks, Oakland Raiders, and Philadelphia Eagles kneeling or sitting during the national anthem with support of white teammates. On August 21st, 2017, 12 Cleveland Brown players knelt in a prayer circle during the national anthem with at least 4 other players standing with hands on the kneeling players' shoulders in solidarity. The largest group of players to take a knee to the anthem to date. Jabril Peppers, a rookie safety, said of the protests, "There's a lot of racial and social injustices in the world that are going on right now. We just decided to take a knee and pray for the people who have been affected and just pray for the world in general. We were not trying to disrespect the flag or to be a distraction to the team. But as men, we thought we have the right to stand up for what we believed in, and we demonstrated that." Seth Duvall, a tight end for the Browns and the first white NFL player to kneel for the anthem, stated, "The United States is the greatest country in the world, and it is because it provides opportunities to its citizens that no other country does. The issue is that it doesn't provide equal opportunity to everybody, and I wanted to support my African American teammates today who wanted to take a knee. We wanted to draw attention to the fact that there's things in this country that still need to change." Some Cleveland Brown fans expressed their dissatisfaction on the team's Facebook page. One commenter posted, "Pray before or pray after. Taking a knee during the national anthem these days screams disrespect for our flag, our country, and our troops. My son and the entire armed forces deserves better." As you can see, players taking a knee for the national anthem is a huge controversial issue within sport and society today. Well, that looks like it's all the time we have today on 60 Minutes. Catch you next time. This is Quesavara signing off.